Hey, how you doing? My name is Chris. This is my shop, and that's my son's cat. Her name is Pax, P-A-X. Don't ask, because I don't know why he named her that either. The cat, well, anyway, I figured I'd give her a cameo in one of my videos, just in case my son happens to watch one of my videos. He'll go, "Oh, there's my cat, I miss her," and then he'll come get her. The friggin' cat is a menace, I don't mind telling you. Anyway, today's video is inspired by a tool of mine that talked to me. My tools talk to me. I don't know about yours. Come on, that's not weird. No, when I was walking by one of my tools in my shop, and it kind of nudged me the other day and said, "Yo, brother, we haven't done anything together in a while. What's up with that?" And I went, "Yeah, you know what? We haven't." And the tool I'm talking about is that. Yeah, my lathe misses me, and I miss my lathe. So I'm going to be turning darts today, and I'm not going to focus on the turning of the darts so much as I'm going to go through the process and what is entailed in if you want to turn a set of darts yourself. I happen to love darts. I have a dartboard in my shop. I've had one in my shop ever since I've had a shop. I've always had a dartboard. And I used to play in a dart league and all kinds of stuff. But like I said, we're not going to focus on the turning so much because it's very similar to turning a pen. And if you've ever turned a pen, then you know how to do that. If you want to learn how to turn a pen, go say hi to RJB Wood Turner, Bob Blandford. He's got a great channel, great instructor, does some crazy pens. He's a good guy. Go check that out. But more about how to go about making the pens, the darts, what's entailed with doing it and doing it correctly, and all sorts of fun stuff we'll be doing. The wood I'm using, by the way, quickly, is just going to be some Wenge I have on hand, and my buddy Jason McGinn has a package en route to me that contains some lilac that he said, "You know what, this stuff might make a really cool looking dart." So I'm going to wait on that, but we'll get started today using the Wenge. Turning and making a set of darts for yourself. Coming up next. Okay, let's start with this. This is the dart kit that I got from Penn State Industries. I'll leave a link to that down below if you're curious. Here's what you get in the dart kit. You get the steel tips, you get the piece that the steel tips screw into, obviously the 3 tubes, you have the flight shafts, the flights, there's the other piece that gets pressed into the other side of the tube that the flight shafts screw into, and then they give you this metal stuff. And this metal stuff feels very much like it's a lead-based material, and you use this to weigh out the darts. You'll take pieces of this, after you've inserted this into your blank, after you've turned it, you just take that metal and you shove it down here, and then you will need to measure this. And speaking of that, I bought a little scale when I bought this too that allowed me to measure in grams each individual dart, because in darts it's real important that each individual dart weighs the same as the other in the set. Otherwise it kind of screws up your throwing. So that's important, and that's what that metal is for. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my blank, go ahead and cut it to size for these tubes, get it drilled out, insert the tubes, get those glued up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, as you can see, I've got all 3 blanks drilled, and I got the tubes inserted in each blank. And this is where it becomes very much like turning a pen. And I should mention this, if you've ever turned a slimline pen, then you have everything that you need in order to do these darts, because this dart kit is a 7mm kit as well. So, you know, you're going to need a 7mm drill bit, and you also need the bushings that you would normally use with a slimline pen, and you're good to go there. I'm also going to be using a barrel trimmer to trim these blanks up, and of course you're going to need a mandrel as well. So I tell you what I'll do, I'm going to go ahead and trim these up with the barrel trimmer, get them on the lathe, turn them into what will essentially end up looking like, you know, half of a pen. And what I like about this, and you know, in making pens and why it's fun, is because you can always turn something to fit the comfort of your own hand. And so, you know, in darts, that becomes real important for the individual player to be able to be comfortable holding the dart. So I'll turn these until they're comfortable in my hand, then we'll come back and we'll assemble them and go from there. All right, so there you go. I've got the 3 blanks turned, relatively the same. I just used the, obviously, some clamps, and I inserted those into the tubes that attach the darts, the dart end of it anyway. What we need to do now is I need to go ahead and measure these and find out what each one of them comes in at, and then we'll know how much of this metal stuff we need to stick in there to get it up to the weight that I want to have. All right, this is the scale and how you use it with the dart attached, and as long as this camera will focus, I think you'll see that that is just, the weight on that is just about a little bit over 10 grams. I'm going to want that probably closer up to 15. So what I'll end up doing is I'll take those metal strands and I'll add 4 grams to it, and I'll shoot to get each dart that I have right at 15 grams so that they all weigh the same. Okay, the best way I found to do this is you don't need to take it all at once. Do it a bit at a time, and I just kind of twist it around in my hand like this to make sure that I get all the strands in there. We'll take the dart, and you just basically insert this in here. And before you go pushing it all in there, a good idea might be to go ahead and use your scale again so you can keep track of you know, how heavy each one is getting, so you don't actually go over the weight, because it's a lot harder to pull that out of there than it is to put it in. So let me just go ahead and finish putting all this in there. We're going to get each one of these up to 15 grams, and then I think we're ready for final assembly, and then we'll find out how well they work. All right, hopefully you can see that. I've got that right at 15 grams, and I've got the rest of them at 15 grams as well. So now it's just time for final assembly. All right, so now that we have all these weighing the same, the final step of the process is easy. We're just going to press this part into the tube, then the shaft that holds the feathers will screw right into that. I should mention that when I was tightening these down, when I was tightening the tips down onto these things, if you want to ensure that that doesn't get loose, you know, over time again, because they do come loose, just add a dab or two of Loctite in there as you tighten that down, and it should stay in there pretty permanently. So let me go ahead and just press these into the tube. I'll get the shaft screwed onto the end, throw the feathers on there, and I think we're going to be good to go. All right, I should mention this before somebody corrects me. These are not feathers; these are the flights for the dart, but I think you know what I meant. And you obviously have to take the tip off of the dart once again in order to press this final piece on there, so that's what I've done. And I'll add the Loctite to it and then put it in for final assembly in a little bit. But let's just go ahead and get this pressed on here, then we can screw the shaft onto the dart, and then we can go from there. There we go. And a quick reminder, if you, or maybe you don't know, if you notice on these things, I don't know if you can see that or not, there's a hole in each one of these shafts. Okay, that hole is there so you can put another dart in there and twist it and get it nice and tight. Now it's on the good. All right, just got to get our flights stuck in there. We can reattach our end here. And I actually just checked, I don't have any Loctite, so I'll have to go out and get some, and I'll do this again later. But for now, these will work just fine like this. Let me go ahead and tighten these down with a pair of pliers. Won't need one of those ones. Get that good and tight on there. All right, there you go. Completed dart. I'll finish the final assembly on the rest of them, and we'll see how these work. It would appear I'm out of practice. Tell you what, I'll practice up. You guys get out in your shops, go make that first cut, and get something done. I'll talk to you later.